Hi there, this is Chandra from Definitive Brands Group, and today we're going to be looking at our 24-litre mineral pot. This is the slightly larger version of our 14-litre mineral pot, so one of our best sellers, and it's a very easy system to install, maintain, and assemble. And one of the benefits of this obviously is that you don't need to connect it directly to a tap. You can stand it on any countertop, and you can just fill it up with water as required. So obviously the biggest difference between this and our 14-litre mineral pot is that this tank on this unit is slightly larger. So hopefully if you're a big water user, you'll need to fill it up a little bit less frequently. So these are all the different parts in the box. You'll have, we can run through it as we install it, but let's start with the base. So the base of the unit comes first. Next we'll put the bottom tank down on it. So that's the tank with a hole in the side. What we then do is we'll install the tap. So this is where a couple of people sometimes have a little bit of trouble. It's actually very simple if you know how to do it. So you start by unscrewing the back nut from the tap. Then you'll see there are two different O-rings. So let's get them loose here. So the biggest mistake that most people make is that they don't separate these O-rings. So the most important part of this is to ensure that one O-ring is on the outside of the unit and one O-ring is on the inside of the unit. So you install the tap just like this, one O-ring on the inside, and then firmly screw the nut to the inside of the unit. So if this is firmly screwed together, you should have no trouble with any leaks. After that, we install our multi-stage cartridge, which is this unit, onto our center spacer and cartridge hanger. So it's also very simple. Just make sure it doesn't cross thread, just like that. From there, before we do that, we'll install our mineral stones into the bottom of the filter, add our multi-stage cartridge, and then we have our second tank. So before we install the second tank or the top tank, we will add our ceramic filter. So it's usually the best practice to, before you install this filter, to take it and let it soak in a bowl of water or in a sink for about 10 to 20 minutes, just to ensure that the ceramic filter is saturated. Usually that helps because in the beginning, the filter might take a very long time for the water to run through. If this filter is saturated, it does help that quite a bit to ensure that the water flows a little bit better. So to install this, we just screw it to this bottom hole. Just ensure that it's firmly installed. There we go. After that, we take the top tank, place it on the top of the unit, and then we add our lid right on the top of the filter. So to use the unit, obviously you'd lift the top cap, fill this up with water, and then simply wait for the water to run through your filters down into the bottom tank. One thing to keep in mind is that you don't want this tank to overfill. So if this tank is already close to full and you fill up the top tank, you do risk a little bit of water running out of this tank over through this seam because there's no seal on here. So it's usually best to refill the bottom tank when it reaches about halfway or lower. Then you can fill up your top tank and the water will run through. It is, like I said, it's a very simple unit to use and install. The unit also does come with a manual in the box, which explains most things should you have any questions. Alternatively, you are welcome to send us an email at technical@definitivebrandsgroup.co.za, or you can give our offices a call and one of our technicians can assist you.